That's right, you are now listening to Tommy Tom's One Mic. Warning, this podcast contains explicit language, triggering or sensitive topics, and controversial discussions. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tommy Tom's One Mic.
I'm Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Flip personality, you know it's I. You never seen my kind, never seen a fucking sliver or a slice. I'm the butcher, choice cuts, know I'm nice. You got beef? I got waggle with a knife. Now I'm gonna be wrapping up bodies up at night. Like Ray Charles, y'all know I'm out of sight. Now I'm gonna be slaying niggas, cause you know I love the life. Yo, you gotta read between the lines. I'm only gonna be moving when I'm read through all the signs. Johnny Mnemonic, I got an upgraded mind. This is for the rebels and their revolutionary minds. Cybernetic linguistics, you know I'm on my mind. Prototype the new dimension, man, that shit is mine. Future is creation and creation is sublime. Make your own legend, only happens with time.
Let's hit the mic.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tommy Tom and One Mic. And today we have a special, I guess you could say, Father's Day episode, as I will be interviewing and talking with my father, Mr. J. Prange. Say hi, Pops.
Hey, everybody.
I think growing up, more people knew about Mom than they knew about you, mainly because Mom she was the piano teacher. She was always involved with school and all that. You were always kind of the quiet enigma, I guess I could say, who was helping all the old ladies out.
Yeah, that was my thing. I always helped all the old ladies out in town, cutting the grass and fixing things and stuff like that. Mom she's a social creature, I'm telling you. Just today, she jumped in the pool, and before I could even get my bathing suit on, she's already talking to a bunch of people.
Sounds about right. You were the quiet one. I probably pick up on that and how I generally deal with people myself. You know, I guess being the father of me, probably not the easiest of jobs. Let's be honest.
I've seen a lot worse around, especially the last couple of years and working in the middle school. I've seen some kids downright just terrible.
And you've worked a lot of different jobs too.
Yes, I have.
You've been what was your first job?
My first job, I believe I was about 15 years old, and I was washing dishes in the officers club at Stewart Field. That was, I did that on weekends. I was working 12-hour days or something like that. I started at 8 in the morning, and I wouldn't get done till about 1 or 2 o'clock the next morning. So that's quite a long day for me.
And this is back in the 1800s, right?
Yeah, right, you wise ass. It was actually in the 1900s, but early.
Yeah, you just recently retired?
Yeah, I retired in the end of last year. My poor old knees just couldn't take it anymore.
I think as long as I remember, every couple of years you had to get some type of surgery, whether it was your knees or your eyes or something.
Yeah, I was, when I worked in the warehouse up there, I got my arm ripped out and I got my knee all smashed up. So, I've had my bouts with surgery. And then I had a retina detached, and that detached again down here last April. Not this past one, but last year. So I had to have that put back on again. It's just one thing after another, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you've been falling apart for as long as I've been alive.
Well, that's the way it goes sometimes, you know. You just take it as it comes and make the best of it.
I always enjoy when, because as you know personally, I enjoy talking shit to people and picking on them and stuff like that. So it's always funny when people are like, "Why are you so mean to me?" I was like, "You should see what I say to my parents."
Exactly.
And I always bring up poking your belly at church, and you always giving me the glare, and me just looking at you and being like, "I'm just checking on the baby."
Yeah, and you were always sneaking away with my car keys.
Yep.
And you just slipped them right off my belt loop.
You got wise a couple times, but I think I won that war more often than not.
Yeah, you won it. You got them off of me. I didn't even know what happened. I go to get in the car and, hey, where's my keys?
Then I hand them to you.
Yeah. Mom liked that. She thought that was funny.
Oh, I bet she did. You grew up in New Windsor, essentially?
Yeah,
Or...
right next to Stewart Field.
Mm-hmm.
We were on the east side of Stewart Field.
Right there in New York. I always remember the stories you would tell me of you three and Aunt Penny, Uncle Charlie, always getting into some mischief or trouble.
Yeah, we were always running around in the woods and playing hide and seek. And of course, me being as allergic as I am to poison ivy, that'd be about the only place I could find to hide was in the big poison ivy fields. And then I'd have to stay out of school for a week or two at times because I was so swelled up with poison ivy I couldn't do anything.
I get the sense you were always the sick one, I guess, in the family.
Yeah, Charlie was the one that was always getting accidents.
Mm.
He was an accident just walking on two legs, I'll tell you. And Michael, he was the devil. Mom called him Mosquito because he was always getting in trouble. And me, it was my mouth. My mouth was always getting me in trouble.
So that's where I get it from.
Yeah.
A lack of censor sometimes.
Yeah. That's why I'm not allowed to talk about Mom right now, because I get my mouth going before my brain gets in gear, and I say things off the top of my head, just kidding. And of course, she takes offense on it, and then I hear about it I'm not going to talk anymore about that.
Yeah. I mean, I can edit it out, but let's not try and make this a 3-hour conversation.
No, that's her discussion.
That will be hers. When did you and Mom meet?
We met in, it was West Point. It was a winter weekend for young adults. And I was dating another girl at the time, and she was dating another guy at the time. And we met at West Point. First time I saw her, I was wondering what she was doing there. She looked like to be about 14. And actually, she was already about 24, I believe. I don't know if she's better at dates than I am, but she had just come into the country and still learning English, and it was so cute watching her try to talk in English, and her nose was wiggling around like up and down and stuff. I thought it was the cutest thing. But I think that was 81 or 82, I forget, in January. And then I continued to date Linda. And then I think it was the following winter, she invited me to a Sadie Hawkins dance. And that's what got us started, because Linda had already gone down to Florida and Utah and wherever she wanted to go. So she asked me out. But she got Grandma I to come and check and see if I had a date first. She was too afraid to ask. She said she didn't know how us guys ever asked women out because she was afraid that I'd say no or something like that. But that's just the way it goes. So,
and Ma was already a member of the church when you guys met, right?
Yeah, I was too.
Oh,
no,
you weren't?
Was I?
I was always under the impression that you weren't a member yet.
Actually, I joined the church in January of 1982. And I think that's the winter that I saw her, because I was still kind of new. So I was watching, baptisms and stuff like that going on. And she came down from Middletown for a baptism because they didn't have their own font at the time. So that's when she asked me out to the Sadie Hawkins dance. And that was, I think that was 82. No, that was in 83 that she asked me out. I joined in 82, and we started going out in 83. And by the end of August of 83, we were married. So you see, I didn't have much chance to get away. Who said that?
You can just blame it on me. I'll take it. Granted, I think that was something I remember that you saying that to me. Is like, you get away with saying things to Ma that I would never get away with.
That's right. You can say things and walk away. I can't do that.
No, you can't.
I can't complain. She's a good woman. We've been married. It'll be this August. It'll be 38 years. Bless her heart. If she can put up with me for that long, I can keep her around a little bit longer.
I've started a joke on stage that the secret to a happy marriage is deafness. My dad has hearing aids, so he has a cheat, like PEDs for marriage. You can kind of turn it down a little when things don't, as you called it, wife mode.
Wife mode. That's what I call it. Wife mode. And I always made jokes about it, but she was never, sometimes she'd laugh and sometimes she would take offense, depending on what kind of company we were in. So yeah. I never win with that one. Yeah. And people would say to me, they'd be talking to me and they'd say, Jay, did you hear what I just said? Get them things out of wife mode. So they knew.
How long were you guys married before, I guess, you guys started the adoption process for me and stuff?
Let's see, 188. We started
38, so 5 years.
We were married 3 years, and I believe I know we waited about 2 years before you were born, so that puts that back to 86, and we got married in 83. So it was about 3 years that we were together trying to have kids and doing all kinds of doctor tests and everything, and found out that it just wasn't going to happen for us.
Yeah.
So we put in our paperwork in 86, and then you came along, and with adoption process back in the middle 80s, women were having babies and throwing them in dumpsters and garbage cans and walking away. And it just devastated me because, we couldn't have our own kids and women were throwing them away and there was nothing we could do. And I felt really bad about the whole thing. And then adoption and how they were digging into our past and wanted to know all the, finances and criminal records and fingerprinting and all this other stuff and home visits. I said, good grief, he's got these people throwing them in garbage cans, and what do you care? We're a good family. But I was really disheartened about the whole thing. And I said, well, how they would know what baby to choose for us? I had no way of knowing for sure. But then one night, I'm sitting there at work, watching this machine go, and in the blink of an eye, I was in a hospital room. I don't know where it was, but I could see everything that was going on. I could hear everything that was going on. And I heard the doctors and nurses talking to this woman on a birthing table. And I saw the baby come out, and something inside me told me that the baby we were going to get had just been born. And I knew what the mother's name was because I heard them talking. I knew her first name. And then just like that, as soon as I knew in my heart that our baby was born, I was back to work. And I had tears in my eyes. When I got home that night, I told Ceci, I said, honey, our baby was born at 7:00 this afternoon. So get the stuff ready. And then she broke down and cried. And the next morning at 9:00, the adoption agency called us up and asked us to pray about a baby that was just born. I said, ain't nothing to pray about. I already saw the baby. So they thought they'd catch us off guard, but we caught them off guard with that one. But that's how I knew that you were the right baby for us. I had no question about it. So it's a funny how the things work in the spirit world. The thin thing with time and space, and just like on Star Trek. Get Keenan going on that one.
Yeah. It makes sense to do the episode with you after Keenan, since you two are usually tied together in my comedy.
Yeah, he and I are always sending each other Star Trek memes.
Yep, I see that. I recently got somebody into, Deep Space Nine, because they had never seen it before.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I've seen Deep Space Nine. What are you talking about? I used to watch Deep Space Nine with you.
Uh-huh.
I got somebody else. Yeah, I got somebody else into it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Syndication now. It's all reruns.
Yeah.
You can download the whole thing and not have to watch a commercial. Life is good.
Nope, that was the thing growing up. Like me and mom would watch like Family Matters, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and stuff like that, and then you and me would watch Star Trek.
Yeah, mom's still watching all those sitcoms. Can you believe that? Whoosh. Yeah, I'm watching. I'm into the Smithsonian Channel now. They
Oh,
have
you're
this thing
really
called
getting old now.
Yeah, no, this is cool. It's Aerial America, and they go state by state, and they fly around. It's all about the history and everything. It's really good educational programming. They also have a thing on trains and what do you call them? Mighty ships, cruise ships. But most of the time, TV for me would be Tubi or something like that because commercials are getting to be 4 minutes long, and it's just ridiculous. It just pisses me off that I'm paying so much money to watch commercials.
Yeah, you're always I guess you can say the tech guy in the house. I remember the old apples you used to have back in the ant house.
Apple IIe.
Apple IIe?
Yep, that's what it was.
I just remember those. Was it an interview with Gail? We talked, and she apparently lives like 5 miles away from the old ant house, the first house I remember living in. There's like an apartment you guys had before that, right?
Yeah, it was above the ranger station.
Oh, it was above the ranger station before?
Yeah, it was a little 1 bedroom. It was a tiny thing, but it was nice.
And then you guys moved into the ant house.
And we call it the ant house because
there's always ants.
It was ants all over the place. Yeah,
ants, and then the occasional snakes.
Snakes, yeah. Well, that goes with the park.
How'd you guys end up in Whining Hills?
Our first apartment was in Middletown on Houston Street, and it was terrible. We stayed there about 3 months, I think, until we could find something better. And the park came along. It was $300 a month, all utilities included. It was electric heat, so we grabbed it. And we couldn't go wrong with that. And we were there a couple of years until the guy that was using the ant house moved out, and we took the ant house. And that was about a year before you were born, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that would have been your first house that you could remember. And we had a lot of fun there, a lot of snow and canoeing, watched frogs jump off of logs into the water as we canoed by.
Yep. Then we moved to Wurtsboro, and the rest is history.
Yeah, in 92. You hadn't even started school by then, did you? That was your first school, Chase Elementary.
Yep. Before that, It was Patty Cake.
Pat daycare, yeah. Yeah, that's when Mom worked down there. It's funny, it's when we lived in the ant house, when we headed toward Middletown, if we turned left on Scotchtown Silver Lake Road, you knew we were going to Lloyd's and you were getting a cookie. But if we went straight, you knew we were going to Auntie's house. And Mom didn't know. She's getting better, by the way, with directions. But she was in her own little world back then. It'd take the same road for years, and she still wouldn't know how to get there. But she's doing a lot better now. Not to mention that we got GPS that gets us unlost. Even I use it sometimes.
Growing up, so you weren't a member of the church, but you always, I don't know, coming across you, always got the sense you were always very reserved, probably compared. Yeah. Uncle Mike was more of a wild child. I was
easy come, easy go. Sometimes I'd get bothered by things, and sometimes I'd just let it go, but Mike and Charlie were like opposites. Charlie was only had his head stuck under the hood of a car or piece of heavy equipment or something, and Mike was always he I'm telling you, this guy, I've tried to keep up with him on motorcycles. We'd go to cross a stone wall where you have to climb up and go over a stone wall with a motorcycle. Not Mike. He'd climb up on top, hang a left, and go down the top of the stone wall for a quarter mile. He's crazy. These were old stone walls built, years ago. They're all loose. But they didn't do that. one time we were tearing up the woods and the swamps and everything. We came back all muddy. And he said, that was good. He puts the kickstand down, steps off the bike, and rolls his ankle and breaks it. and he was just a couple of months out of going into the Marine Corps. They had to postpone him 6 months, so his ankle could heal. Yeah, Mike. He was always a go getter.
And Aunt Penny was the baby. She was like, how many? What's the year difference between her and Uncle Mike? Because you and Charlie are the closest, we're the closest in age.
Right. We're 355 days apart. He was born on December 7th. I was born on 27th. So it's 20 days less than a year. So we're 345 days apart. And Michael came along in 1958, November, same month as me. So he's 3 years younger than I am. And then Penny came along in April of 1960. So about a year and a half younger than Michael.
Mm.
Yeah, Penny, she just turned 50. She's 51 now. Son of a gun. I should have sent her some Depends for her birthday.
Oh, jeez. Once again, for anybody that wonders where I get my cruelty from for messing with people, here you go. There's your answer right here. Learn to fuck with people from the best.
Matter of fact, my neighbor's turning 50 in August. I'm going to send him a box of Depends.
Shit. Yeah, your old ass is sending Depends. What are they? Well, I can't say anything. I used to always say about getting you a toupee and a cane.
Yeah. Or a big, what do you call it? One of them old hearing aids, the big old horn that they stuck in your ear.
I did have a question about one guy, I guess, that you worked with at, was it Yellow Freight?
I didn't work at Yellow Freight. I worked next door.
Next door.
Eastern Alloys.
That's it. Right.
Eastern Alloys.
Because there's always this picture of this one dude. Well, I don't remember ever meeting or anything. It was a black guy.
Al.
I guess Al?
Yeah, Al was the name.
And just a story, just somewhat knowing a story of him saving your life or something like that.
Saving my life?
Yeah, or something.
No. Nobody had to save my life.
Was it? There was something like some guy attacked you or some shit.
Oh, that was in Libros.
Okay.
When I worked at Libros, yeah. One of the guys took off for lunch with another guy, and they got pulled over by the cops for speeding up and down in Wabasha Falls. And the paychecks had already been written out for a full day's work, and they took like a 3-hour lunch. And they wanted their paycheck right away when they got back so that they could go back out to the bank to cash it. And I said, no, we have work to do. And he got all pissed off and picked up his 4-foot length of galvanized pipe and whacked me right in the back with it. Bruised up my kidneys, put me in the hospital for a couple of days. But the other guy, Max, he came over and then got between me and Willie and kept Willie off of me.
Yeah, that was the story that I heard.
Yeah. Willie was a crazy guy.
Well, clearly, if he's taking a pipe.
Yeah.
There was probably more of that. So now that you're retired and, you went through 2020 pretty much down in Georgia. How was that?
The pandemic thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they shut down the schools a couple months early. And, of course, we got paid for it anyway, which was nice because it had already been in the school budget. But come June 1st, which was right after Memorial Day, we had to go back to work. Just the custodians and the administrative staff, not the teachers, not the students, anything, just custodians, so that we could shampoo carpets, do some painting here and there, and wax a few floors and whatever. It took pretty much all summer to do it. I just moved furniture around while the other people did all the cleaning. That kept me busy, and I didn't mind. It seems I was able to move the furniture by myself. Anybody else that had to move furniture, they needed help. I couldn't understand that. So yeah, it was all right. And of course, Mom had the whole summer off as well as the 2 months that we had off together. Yeah, that our first project when they shut down the schools, end of March. The first project, Mom wanted to get this bird bath set up in the front yard. So I went out and I dug the hole. I put down the landscaping cloth. Well, we did, and we put down the gravel and lined it with what do you call it? Landscaping stone to go around the edges. Made it look nice and leveled off the bird bath and put in there. But when I went to pick up that bird bath off where it was to move it, that's what popped my retina off. My left eye. Yeah. So April 1st, I was in the hospital getting my retina put back on.
Lovely.
April Fool's Day of all days. So I said, honey, I can't see much out of my left eye. We went to the eye doctor, and he said, well, let me send you to the retina specialist. So Mom had to drive, and she was not happy driving around in Athens. So we went to the retina specialist, and he said, oh, yeah, we got to fix that right away. So he sent me to the hospital, which was on the other side of town. So Mom had to drive over there, and she was frantic. She does not like traffic. And then she couldn't go in, of course, because of the pandemic. She had to sit out in the car. So I was in there for a couple, 3 hours. I don't know how long. I don't remember. Well, they were putting a retina back on my eye. And they had to do that while I was awake. So that was pretty interesting, to say the least. But all in all, everything came out good. I'm not worse for the wear. I still have a little blind spot, but it's not detached retina. They said it something with muscles or something is pinching, and it's creating that gray spot. It doesn't bother me much. Every now and then I'll see it, and sometimes, most of the time, I don't. So I don't pay much attention to it. But I keep an eye on it. The doctor sees me now once a year. He was seeing me every 2 weeks after that happened, but now it's just once a year again because everything's stable.
Are you mowing lawns out there? I know Uncle Paul's probably excited that you're retired since he's wanted to do that lawn mowing business and shit with you.
Yeah. Uncle Paul's pretty much reassigned himself to stay in the house. He gets out in mornings sometimes. He'll say, come on, let's go to breakfast, and we'll go down to Mickey D's and get a couple of sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins, which are good. Other than that, he just stays in the house, stays in his chair and his computer.
How many times a week do you have to go over to fix his computer?
Believe it or not, he's got 2 computers now. One for the kids and one for him. And everything's been cool with them. Aunt Maria's computer, I have to go over and keep working on because she keeps downloading all this junk that says, she gets some kind of ad that comes up and says, your computer may be infected. Download the software, and she's got like 10 of them in there, all fighting with each other. And then I go over there to fix it, and half the programs are in Spanish. I can't read it. So I said, no, I don't know what you did, Maria, but that's the way it's going to stay. But I keep them running for the most part, as best I can.
Yeah, this is the failure of you guys as parents. Ma never talked to me in Spanish, and I'm not as technologically experienced as I should be, given that you're the guy that fixes everybody's computers and shit.
Well, I can't help you with Spanish, but I can tell you one thing about technology. Making mistakes, trying to fix things through making mistakes is a learning process. That's how I learned. I just got on there and I said, well, what happens if I do this? Oh, shit, that's screwed up now. So then I have to say, oh, now how am I going to fix this? Yeah. But today, technology is so easy. You say, hey, Google. And the thing starts, it says, how do I do this? Or this is what's happening, and it's 1,001 answers come up. And
I take credit in you figuring that out. The day that with the truck, how the lock would sometimes just lock on its own or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you were so pissed. What are you doing? The car locks. Where's the spare key? I was like, I lost the spare key. And it was just out there, and you had to take Ma's car. And like maybe 10, 15 minutes later, we call you. It's like, hey, Pops, I went on YouTube and figured out how to break into a car. and I unlocked the truck. So it's off. Don't worry about it.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that time up in Cortland when you had that problem.
Oh,
In the winter.
that was a worse situation because that is like, I can't, it's not, it wasn't like a manual lock. So I couldn't do anything to like do it. And I think the thing I was like, hey, Pops, we got glass insurance, right?
Yeah, we do.
It's like, all right. And I just popped the back window and had to drive back like 2 hours in like maybe February or something. It was wintertime, I think, because it was cold. It was cold. Yeah. I put on all my jacket as I drove back early morning back to Woodsboro.
Yeah, and you had taped up that window before you took that trip too, right?
Yeah, I tried to. Look, clearly from my history, I'm not very good with cars or vehicles. It's why I gave up. I gave up on that.
Well, like I always said, it could have been worse. Yeah. It could have been me that it happened to.
Yeah.
But I've been there before where the defroster stopped working and you have to open up all the windows and drive around in the wintertime until you can figure out what happened to the defrosters.
It's definitely a cold drive.
Yeah.
Well, Pops, I think we reached a good point. So we're going to take a quick little break. When we get back, we'll talk some more. And towards the end of this, I have a questionnaire for you. It's okay. I guess you can call it a this or that. It's a choice between two things. We're going to have some fun and trying not to get you in trouble.
That's not going to happen. I'm going to get in trouble any way you look at it.
Yeah, you probably will. Yeah. Yeah, I know some of the questions. All right. But we will be right back. And we're back. Guys, I hope you're enjoying my nice little conversation with my dad. As I alluded to, in a little bit, I will be getting him in trouble. But until then, Pops, you guys moved down to Georgia. Was it like 2-3 years now?
In 2015.
Oh, 2015. Jesus. All right. Well, yeah, twice as long.
About 6 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was in rehab. It's been over 5 years since I got out. Jesus, time does move quickly, and the older you get.
The older you get, the faster it goes, too.
Yeah. Can't imagine how it is for you.
Yeah. Time's just zooming by here, I'll tell you.
I tell you, like, seeing everybody with, like, kids and stuff, I'm just like, what? And as they get bigger and bigger, it's just...
Yeah. And you got 7 Tori with babies now, and Uncle Tom.
Yep.
How did that go over with you, Uncle Tom?
I find it funny. I joke on stage. It's like, if you don't think racism's funny, you never had a little white baby come up to you screaming, Uncle Tom, Uncle Tom. And then, I never thought of that. And then the dad's like, yeah, Uncle Tom. And you're like, you need to shut the fuck up because you're not as cute as the kid.
Yeah, the kid's cute, but you're going to get blindsided.
Yeah, the kid can get away with that. You, no.
Yeah. Well, I hope Tori will get away with it.
And what is it? I don't think I even showed you. Hudson from Cortland. I'll probably have an interview going up with him after yours. He had his first kid. He had a daughter, which I called Karma because he was our pretty friend. And I was like, you have to get a girl. That's the punishment. It's karma.
So you call her Karma then, huh?
No, it's Natalie. I believe their daughter's name. No. All my friends now married or have kids or both.
Well, enjoy your bachelorhood.
Well, I am. Joe is like, now. I was like, yeah, now it's like somewhere along the line, I became the degenerate of all my friends. I'm the single guy with a police record, been to rehab and all that. And they all have families and kids. And it's like, you wouldn't have thought that years ago.
The nice thing about being married, though, is things just magically get done overnight. Like, you see that guy on that video, he leaves things on a coffee table and he said, somehow overnight, everything gets cleaned. He doesn't understand it.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure when I get Mom on this podcast, she'll have her own take on that statement.
Yeah, she sure will.
I bet she will. But, Pops, I wanted to play a little game with you. It's essentially, I'm going to give you two choices. Which one would you choose? And the first one's an important one. Who's a better cook, mom or me?
You.
I just wanted that on record.
Yeah. Mom don't cook. Well, she does cook once in a while. She makes her special little Colombian things for herself.
Mm-hmm.
I just will not cook with cilantro. It's swamp weed. It stinks. It's nasty stuff.
I think the only time I've used cilantro was with guacamole, making my own guacamole.
Yeah, it's good in guacamole as long as it's not overdone. Barbaritos puts too much guacamole in their, too much cilantro in their guacamole. So the thing tastes like swamp weed.
Let's see. Which one do I want to give you next?
If you're snickering before you can even ask, maybe you shouldn't ask it.
Yeah. I'm trying. I'd like to. You guys been married 38 years, right? 38 years? Was it a good marriage? All right, I'll do this one. Granted, I know the answer to it, but it's just which one of my friends have you had the most interesting interactions with? Clearly Keenan, but the other one would be Seb.
Yep, one of those two.
Yeah.
Have to be one of those two. I love them both. They're like my own kids, just like, anything else. It's like my own kids. But Keenan, I feel a special bond with Keenan. I don't know why. I just do. Maybe he gives bigger hugs. I'm not sure.
Was it Mom told me years ago that you were a little intimidated of Keenan because he was so big?
Yeah. Size kind of intimidates me, That and young men, young women for that matter. But I'm getting better with that now.
I thought you were trying not to get in trouble on the podcast.
Like yesterday, we were just getting out of the pool at the YMCA, and these two ladies walk into the pool area in dresses. And I stopped. And I says, "Would you ladies like help getting into the pool?" And they just laughed. No, we're just here to look around. I just couldn't help myself.
All right. Better Star Trek series. I'll give you three. That would be Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, or Voyager.
I would have to say I liked Voyager better.
Voyager?
Yeah, I liked Voyager better.
Why'd you choose that one?
Next Generation was good. I loved that one because, you had Picard there. It was the Picard factor, I guess.
Yeah.
DS9 was good. I especially like Terry Farrell. I think that was her name. She played Dax.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But Voyager was more of a journey. They were trying to get home, and it followed it. You know what I'm saying? With DS9, it was just DS9 and the Jem'Hadar and the wormhole and whatever. And what was the next one? The other one with Picard, they just went from one place to another. They weren't on any specific journey. They had just little missions to do here and there. But I really enjoyed the journey. That was the thing about Voyager.
Pops, a little revenge for you for this one. What would you wish more on me? That I gained weight or I lost my hair?
Well, I certainly, because I'm overweight, I would certainly not want you to gain any weight. It comes with health issues. But losing your hair, it don't change a person whatsoever. You just put a little wax on it and away you go.
Much nicer with that one than I thought. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Good. We worked so hard to get a dog for so many years.
Yes. And we finally got Toby. And he's doing pretty good. And Mom still doesn't like him on the couch or on the bed with us. And he's a small dog. He's not that big. But he sure loves to cuddle with me. He just loves to sit in my lap and whatever. But Mom just can't stand it.
All right. Let's see here. So I got a list. Got to make sure. If you could go back in time, would you invest in either Microsoft or Apple?
I would say Microsoft. Apple is, well, either one would be a good investment, to be honest with you. But I'm kind of disillusioned with Apple because they're just so expensive for what you're getting. And any kind of upgrades are expensive, but they don't have the security issues that Microsoft has. I don't know why people don't pick on Apple more, but they seem to hate Bill Gates, and they're always trying to hack into his software, creating little bugs and stuff.
All right. Better comic book series, The Boys or Preacher?
Oh, that's a tough one. I loved them both. I would have to say I really liked Preacher. It was more of a personal story. The Boys was more all about superheroes and stuff, and they were just turned out to be all phony. So yeah, I'll go with Preacher.
I thought you would probably choose Preacher. It's a little more. I think Preacher's a more complete story, beginning to end. I like the ending in Preacher more than The Boys, because Preacher was like a complete end to the story, while The Boys is like there's room for more if they wanted to.
Yeah. And I have to say that the comic book series was a lot better than the TV series.
Preacher?
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the entire series or not, but it.
I fell off, I think, in the second season.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the novel. There was a lot of stuff missing or changed. And,
you've watched the Boys TV show though.
Yeah, and I wasn't happy with that either.
No,
it's much better in the graphic novel. Much better. The better storyline.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it. I don't know why they changed it, but they changed it when they went into a series.
What is it? What's his name? Seth Rogen and his guy. They're the ones that are producing those shows and stuff.
Yeah. What's his name? Enos?
No, not Garth Ennis. That's the writer.
Yeah.
That's the writer. He wrote both of them. But the guys producing the shows is Seth Rogen and his partner. This one might get Spanish or English.
I'll stick with my English. As messed up as English is, it's I get myself in so much trouble speaking Spanish because I learned the wrong words first.
Yeah, that's Mom's fault for me as well. I believe the first that she taught me in Spanish was "Dese mi color y como no me kiss my ass, eat shit.
Como caca y muera.
Yeah, como caca y muera.
Yeah, basically how it works. I started learning, picking up phrases back when I worked in West Point in the mid-'70s because I worked with the Spanish people down there. And I was always picking up little phrases here and there, and none of them good.
Now, when you got married, you had to get rid of a couple things. So this question is, what would you rather have back? The motorcycle or the gun?
I got my guns back.
Oh, well, there goes.
I got my guns back.
You guys go down south, and now you guys get guns.
I can't get them in New York. That's for darn sure. You guys are so anal retentive when it comes to firearms up there. It's crazy. So I got my guns back. Motorcycle, I'd have probably killed myself if she hadn't made me give them up.
And easy one: Southern pizza or New York pizza?
There's no such thing as a Southern pizza. I don't know what they call that. They call it pizza, but it ain't pizza. I'll take a New York pizza any day of the week.
All right. Fried corn or empanadas?
I like my fried corn. Give me that bacon.
Pancakes or waffles?
We make waffles here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I have a waffle maker. And pancakes are easier, but waffles, they're just as good. They got all those nooks and crannies to hold the syrup.
All right, and then we'll just end out with just straight questions for you. You don't have to do the either or. What's your favorite TV show that you're watching right now, besides the Smithsonian and all that?
I would have to say, either botched or Dr. Pimple Popper.
What?
You never heard of Dr. Pimple Popper?
No.
Holy moly, you'll have to Google that. There's a lady in California, her name is Dr. Sandra Lee, and she has her TV series on TLC, I believe it is, and it's called Dr. Pimple Popper. And people come in with keloids or cystomas, I guess you call them, or I don't know, these huge lumps on their body, and she removes them. It's very interesting.
Dr. Pimple Popper. Jeez.
Dr. Pimple Popper. Google it when you get a chance.
It sounds so fake. I believe you. It just sounds so fake. It's not to be grim, but what would be your last meal?
What would be my last meal?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to say, that's a tough one. Maybe some fried chicken and fried green tomatoes and some fried chicken livers. Get the idea? I like fried.
Yeah. I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah. They fry just about everything down here. You go into a buffet place and it's just about everything's fried. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that they fry down here.
Do you have like a favorite Southern cuisine, I guess?
Yeah, well, of course, everybody's got Golden Corral, but it's just so chain food, you know. We go to a place called Joy's Home Cooking, and they cook it all themselves right there. And their chicken is good. A couple of days a week, they have smoked ribs that the meat pulls right off the bone. And they have fried chicken livers, which is good, and fried just about everything else. And of course, macaroni and cheese. There's also a little tiny, I don't know what you would call it, like a tool shed size place in Statham, about 6 miles from here, called Edie's. And they have barbecue ribs that are out of this world. He's got this huge smoker out in the back, and they smoke all the ribs right there on site.
All right. Well, let's do this one. From my list of life mistakes that I've made, what was the most disappointing thing, honestly?
The most disappointing mistake that you've ever made is the one where you don't forgive yourself. You know, material things matter not to me. You know, you either have them or you don't. It doesn't matter. You don't have them, life goes on. You just adjust, you know. But mistakes of the heart are things that you carry with you. I don't know. I mean, you've thrown kids in dumpsters and gotten in troubles. Well, at least one kid. We won't talk about that. But 3 DUIs. I would have hoped you would learned after the first one, but apparently you needed a couple more lessons in, the legal system.
Yeah.
And hopefully after the third time was a charm. I'm just hoping and praying the third time was a charm. Accidents with the truck, shit happens. It usually stinks, but like I said, it's a material thing. It can be replaced or repaired. It didn't matter. It wasn't important to me. Other than that, it's just go easy on yourself. Just suck it up and say, okay, I learned this time. So let's hope you can say that. And, just be a better person. That's all. It's
all you can do.
That's it.
Now, let's try and get you in some good grace with Mom, your wife. What's your favorite thing about your wife?
The favorite thing about my wife, she's just such a talented thing. She stays up all night. Well, no, she doesn't stay up all night. She stays up all morning too. Oh, here we go. I'm already in trouble. I've been told not to talk about this. Let's just say she puts in long hours. That's better. Doing little crafty projects. And it's just amazing some of the stuff she sews and creates and her artistic ability and stuff. It's just amazing. She's got more in her little pinky than I got in my whole body. But, it is what it is. She made all her own masks for last school year. Every time a holiday come around, she'd make about 5 to 7 masks for the holiday. So she'd have one for each day of the week. So she's got like, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 masks sitting in there. Now she can't make up her mind which one to wear.
Yeah.
And now we don't need them down here in Georgia.
And we'll end on this one. If you could go back in time, Pops, what advice would you give your younger self?
Invest in Microsoft, Apple, or Subaru.
Subaru.
In 1978, I test drove a Subaru. It was a 4-speed, and it had an extra lever in it that you can push it, push in the clutch and shift the lever anywhere under 50 miles an hour, and you're automatically in 4-wheel drive. I thought that was the bee's knees. The vehicle, brand new off the showroom floor, was $5,000. If I had invested $5,000 into Subaru back then, I'd be a millionaire today. That's something to think about, man. That's scary. That was before the personal computers started coming out. Because Apple didn't come out with their Apple II until I think it was 1983. So this is 5 years ahead of the computer.
Oh, you know what? One more to close. This one we'll go back to the old days. What game did I beat you at that annoyed you the most?
Oh, what's the name of that thing? It was a video game. I forgot. I was just looking. I still got it on my computer, by the way, as a program that I can install. In case you're interested, I can send that to you.
Is it with the ball breaking the blocks?
Yeah, the ball thingamajiggy.
Yeah,
something
a whole bunch of different ones.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. But yeah, that thing. I'd sit there for days getting ahead of you, and then you'd just look at me and say, seriously? You got ahead of me, huh? And then you'd sit down there for 15 minutes, and you'd blow me away, so it'd take me days to catch up to you again.
I wouldn't even tell you sometimes. I just do it and just leave it and wait for you to wait until you're just like, what the fuck?
It was called Ricochet. Ricochet?
There's so many different versions of that game. There's so many different, but I know the game you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that pissed me off no end, how you just sit there for 15 minutes and blow me away. And it'd take me a week to try to catch up to you.
I've been doing that since even back in the ad house. It was a Jetpack.
Jetpack, Jetpack. That was the name of it.
Further levels.
Load Runner. Load Runner was the other one that you used to beat me at all the time. That's back when we had a green screen.
Yeah.
Monochrome.
Mm-hmm. Well, Pops, I appreciate you. Appreciate you meeting with me today to do this little Father's Day episode.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep. It's good catching up. It's been a little while.
Yeah. Hey, when are we going to have your roast?
I have no idea. When you guys are able to get up and I can actually schedule a good day for that. Because, now that things are open up and I can start doing shows and all that, but I have other things I'm trying to work on as well. But we'll definitely have that. Maybe for my next birthday. Okay.
Well, we'll see how it works with the COVID stuff up there.
We will see. Well, we got to see how everything works.
Yeah.
Well, Pops, thanks once again. And thank everybody for listening. Once again, if you're listening to this episode, please hit the like or subscribe or whatever program or thing you're listening to this on. And if you'd like to follow me and all that, you can do so at the Tommy Tom 88 on Twitter and Tommy Tom P 88 on Instagram. Pops, once again, thanks for being on. Say hi to the midget for me.
Sure will.
And we will catch you all next time.
I'm Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Flip personality, it's I. You never see my kind, never seen a sliver or a slice. I'm the butcher, choice cuts, know I'm nice. You got beef? I got waggle with a knife. Now I'm gonna be wrapping up bodies up at night. Like Ray Charles, y'all know I'm out of sight. Now I'm gonna be slaying niggas cause you know I love the life. Early. Yo, you gotta read between the lines. I'm only gonna be moving when I'm read through all the signs. Johnny Mnemonic, I got an upgraded mind. This is for the rebels and their revolutionary minds. Cybernetic linguistics, you know I'm on my mind. Prototype the new dimension, man, that shit is mine. Future is creation and creation is sublime. Make your own legend, only happens with time.